So we have learned about inheritance in our previous session, introduction to inheritance, right? So what is inheritance? How do we inherit two classes? So in this class, we have two things. One is superior and the other one is the child class, where we have properties written inside the child class as well as the superior class. Then we have seen by creating an object to the superior and as well as to the child. When you create object only to the child, when you create object to the child, you'll be able to access both child properties as well as the superior properties. Since superior is C1 child is extending superior, or superior is extended by C1 child. So whatever the properties which are present in the superior class, that will be available in child class. And also one more thing, whatever you have, whenever we are having this extends keyword in a class, so we won't need to create object for the superior class inside this child class. You'll be able to directly access these values. Let's suppose business. You so won't work out here because it's not the main method, right? So you see business, which is from the superior class, you'll be able to access it directly. You don't have to create an object for the superior class because this child class is already accessing superior directly. So you'll be able to access it directly without creation of object. You see, this business variable is not inside this method or not inside this class, but it is inside superior. Okay, so that is what we learned in our previous session about inheritance, introduction to inheritance. Now let us see some more advanced things or some more topics on the inheritance concept. So we have seen a normal inheritance, but in inheritance, we have four different types of inheritance. Okay, four different types of inheritance. So what are they? So first one is single inheritance. So single inheritance means there is only one parent and one child, that is A, okay, is extended by B. That means A is the parent and B is the child. Okay. A is the parent and B is the child. A is extended by B. B is the extending class of A. Only one class, only one parent, only one child. Then we have multi-level inheritance. Okay, multi-level inheritance means A has a child B and B has a child C. Okay, so we know already A is extended by B and B is going to be extended by C. So all the properties of A will come to B and all the properties of B along with A will come to C. So this is multi-level inheritance. This can also happen. Okay, and then we have hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance means one parent A is extended by B and also A is extended by C. So you see here the difference. Multi-level is directly A to B, B to C. Whereas hierarchical A to B and A to C. That means one parent, two children. Here we have one parent, one children, one parent, one children. But here it is A's child class is B and A's child class is C. Okay. single, multi-level, hierarchical, and then multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance is not supported by Java. Multiple inheritance and then hybrid inheritance. Both are not supported. Java doesn't support these kind of inheritance. Actually, what is this inheritance? Multiple and hybrid. So multiple inheritance means a single child class. Like for example, I have parent A comma parent B. This both are being extended by C. Okay. So a single child for multiple parents. This is not possible in Java. You cannot inherit multiple parent classes in a single child class. Why? Because it creates ambiguity. Ambiguity problem. What ambiguity? For suppose A has method add and B also has add. So when you create an object for C and call add method, now since it is extending both A and B, I mean both the parents A and B, so from which class should it call the add method? It doesn't have clarity, right? Because C is extending both A and B and both the parents have the add method. Now it doesn't know which one to call. So that is the reason Java doesn't support multiple inheritance. Similarly, hybrid inheritance. This is also not supported because of the ambiguity problem. What ambiguity? What is hybrid inheritance actually? So for suppose, you see, C has parents both A and B. Like for example, A comma B is extended by C and C is extended by D and C is extended by E. So since this is not possible, we cannot also go with this. So hybrid is a mixture of multiple and hierarchical or multiple and multi-level. Since multiple inheritance is not supported by Java, so hybrid inheritance is also not supported by Java. Understood?
So we don't use multiple and hybrid?
Exactly. Since Java
Oh,
doesn't support, we won't be able to use these two, multiple and hybrid. No option, no chance to use. We
oh.
have only single inheritance or multi-level inheritance or hierarchical inheritance. Though we have this multiple and hybrid, but Java doesn't support, so we won't be able to use them. I think Python supports these multiple inheritance and hybrid inheritance, but Java doesn't support it. Okay, so that is the reason we use only these three. Single inheritance is what we have seen already. A extends B, one parent and one child. Okay, now let us see multi-level inheritance. A is the parent of B and B is the parent of C. Okay, now let us see that. Sharing my other screen. All right. Now you see here, child extends superior. Okay. So this is a parent and this is the child. Right. Now I'm going to create another class C2 underscore child. This is extending. Okay, I'll do C2 underscore C1 underscore child or C2 underscore child of C1. Okay, because this is if I say C2 child, then that might become the second child for superior. But if I write like this, I mean, there is nothing wrong with the naming convention, but just to make it clearly understandable, I'm writing like this. It is not needed to write child. That's writing on my own. C2 underscore multi-level Okay, something, some object. C2 multi-level inheritance of C1 because this is the parent for this. So I'm going to extend C1 child. Okay. So now you see, if you observe here, C2 multi-level inheritance is a child of C1 child. And when I go to C1 child, this is a child of superior. So that means A is extended by B is extended by C, right? Multi-level only, right? We have seen it. If A is extended by B and B is extended by C, that is multi-level inheritance. That's what we have seen just now. Okay? Multi-level. A is inherited by B is C. So this is superior, this is C1 child, and this is C2 multi-level inheritance. Okay. So these are the three different classes. One is being extended by other. That is what we are seeing now. Okay. This is what we have seen. Now, in this, whatever you want to write something, so you can write Nikhil Gonda. And from this, since this is extending C1 child and C1 child is extending superior, I will be able to access any of these methods or any of these variables here. Okay. So let me show you that. Public. Oh, I'm writing some sample method. Okay. Here you see we have business name in C1 child. I will be able to access it. No issues. Then I have another thing called business. Okay, I'm able to access it. And then I'll also be able to access get child property list. And then also I'll be able to access of get property list. See? So I will be able to access anything from either the superior class or from C1 child because the C2 is extending both the classes of C1 and superior. Understood? Superior is the grandfather of this one. C1 child is the parent of this one. So since father is acquiring the properties of grandfather and I'm acquiring the properties of my father. So I'll have all the three properties, my property, my father's and my grandfather's. So that is why you are able to access these things. Understood? You see, for example, if I'm removing this for an example, you see, all the four variables are throwing error. Right? What is it saying? You see, observe. Business name cannot be resolved to a variable. It is saying that there is no such kind of variable inside this class. Yes, it is not there. But where it is there, it is present inside C1. Okay, for example, I'll directly extend superior. Now see two of the variables gone, two of the variables are still having issue because superior has business and get property list. So it has business and get property list. But how can I get business name and get child property list? When I create extension of C1 child. You see, I just extend the C1 child class. Since C1 child is extending superior, so I'll be able to access all these members directly inside this class. I don't have to create any object because these are my parent methods. I'll be able to access anything from my parents directly. Understood? This is multi-level inheritance. And then we have, okay, multi hierarchical inheritance. Okay, C3 plus 4. and C3 underscore hierarchical inheritance. So this one C3 is also a sibling of C1. So both of these extend superior. You see now, C1 is extending superior and C3 is also extending superior. Understood? From superior, I can get anything inside this. That's all. This is hierarchical. Understood? C3 is extending superior and also C1 is extending superior. That's what we learned, right, in our theoretical. You see, hierarchical means A is extending B and A is also be extended by C. So here A is our superior. Superior is extended by C1. Superior is extended by C3 child or C3 hierarchical inheritance class. So if this is hierarchical inheritance, if this type of inheritance you are using, then that is hierarchical inheritance. Is that clear? Shut up, Kenji.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then let us see. I know multiple inheritance is not possible, but just to show whether it is allowing me or not, I will write class. Okay. Multiple inheritance. That means extending two different parents to the same class. Okay. Class multiple inheritance extends superior comma C1 underscore child. You see here it is directly throwing an error. What is the error? They want us to remove this comma. But how do you mention the other class? You see, delete this token. You can extend only one class. So that is why even if I put comma or even if I put anything, it doesn't allow me because this Java doesn't support multiple inheritance. Understood? Since Java doesn't support multiple inheritance, you cannot inherit multiple classes or you cannot inherit multiple classes onto the single class. Is that clear? So I just, there is no way of using multiple inheritance in Java. And hybrid is a mixture of multiple inheritance and hierarchical or the other inheritance. Since multiple inheritance is not supported, so we cannot show you a demo or we cannot show you a usage of hybrid inheritance as well. So even if anybody asks, you can say these are the 5 different types of inheritance, but Java doesn't support multiple inheritance and hybrid inheritance. So what does it support? Single inheritance, multi-level inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. Okay. Now, do you want me to show it diagrammatically? I can also do that. See, single inheritance. Single inheritance is one parent and only one child. A is extended by B. Multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance is A's child is B, okay, and then B's child is C. This is multi-level, okay, and then hierarchical. We have A, whose child is B and whose child is C. This is B and this is C. Both B and C are extending a single parent A. This can be done. Okay, hierarchical. And then multiple inheritance means I have A and I have B I'm going to access both of them inside C, which is not possible. Multiple inheritance. Okay. And then we have hybrid inheritance. That means A and B is being extended by C, and then this C is extended by D and E. Okay. Though this is supported by Java, but this is not supported by Java, right? This is not supported. So obviously this hierarchical inheritance is not supported. Understood? Yanji setup. Is that clear?
Yes, Nikhil.
Okay. All right. So that's all about the inheritance concept. Let us open notes and see if I missed anything on inheritance. Okay. Wants to remember, if objects are created for a parent, only parent properties can be reused. We have seen this. All right. Objects created for a child can reuse the properties of parents as well as the child. This is also we have seen. Multi-level inheritance is allowed in Java. Yes, we have seen now just now. And every class is extended from default class object either directly or indirectly. This is the main cause. So when we discussed about the other methods like, for example, execution sample, you see here, I have created an object for C1 child, right? Now, C object. But if you see here, C object dot. If you see here, I'm getting objects from C1. I'm getting values from C1 child. But if you observe, there is something called object class. From object class, we are getting. You see here, from object class, there are 9 to 10 methods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 methods exactly. So these 9 methods are from object class. We did not create extending, or we did not create any code, or we did not write any extents for the object class. Did we write object class? No. But still, whenever you create an object, whether it is a child object or whether it is a parent object, you will see all those object related methods. You see, you are getting again the object methods from the object class, right? Because these in Java, every object or every class by default, even if you don't mention anything here, so I did not mention anything like extents or blah blah. So even if you don't mention anything here, by default it is already extending object class, even if you mention it or even if you don't mention it. See, though you don't mention this, by default Java is assuming that each class is using this. Each class is extending the object class of Java, because Java's object class is the parent class for all the objects in Java. So whenever you create an object, it should know what is an object, how should I create an object, right? So those kind of functionality, those set of rules or those set of usages are already implemented in object class. So without having the blueprint or without having the what do we say template, we cannot create a classes and use classes, right? So this object acts as a template or blueprint or what do we say guide for the classes and objects. So that is why every class that you create in Java, whether you explicitly mention or not, is a child of object class. Java.lang.object. So this is the root class. You see, class object is the root of the class hierarchy. Every class has object has a super class. Whatever the class you create, it will act as a super class. Object will act as a super class. Understood? Whatever the class, whatever. Is that clear? Then object class is a parent of all classes and is present in java.lang package, which is consisting of 9 methods, which can be used in any class. Wherever you create a class object, you can use all those 9 methods if you want, but generally you don't use them. Okay. All right. And then we have seen the types of inheritance, which is single inheritance, what is only one parent and one child. And then we have seen multi-level inheritance, that C is the child of B and B is the child of A. And then hierarchical inheritance, we have seen A is the parent, B is the child of A, and also C is the child of A. This is also we have seen hierarchical. And then multiple and hybrid inheritances are not supported by Java because of the ambiguity problem. That also we have seen. Okay. And then super keyword. So let us see what is this super keyword. Okay. This we might use super keyword multiple times, even in multiple places. So let us see what is this super keyword and when do we use this super keyword. So this is also one of the important keyword that we use in our day-to-day life. Super and this, we have two different keywords, this keyword and super keyword. Okay, so let us see what are those this and super keywords. I'm going to create a separate class, or I'll use the same execution sample to use the super and this keyword. Okay, now this is the execution class. So I'm going to have a separate class here. Class. Class details. Okay, and then here I'm going to have public string name is equals to string name is equals to, okay. Then I'm also having class, let's say, okay, this is yeah. And here in this C2 execution sample also, I'm going to create a same variable public string name is equals to, here I'll say I have same variable called a name in this execution sample as well as in details. Right? You see this name and in details. Now make this extends details. Okay. Now inside the main method, if I want to access, I have two variables with the same name and name. Name of this C2 execution sample and name of this detail class, right? Now, C2 of name. If I say this, it is saying, what is it saying? You see, this is not static. Okay. Now, from which class is this coming? C2 execution sample, right? But when I use extends details, I should also be able to access this name. I'll do one. I'll create another variable. String is equals to okay. Now, if I try to print this course, I'll be able to. You see, I'm able to get this course. You see here, do we have any course variable in this C2 execution sample? No. When you do not have course variable in this class, it is directly able to print the from parent class. But when you are coming to the name variable, You have the same variable inside the parent class as well as the child class. Now, when I say by default, if I use name, the scope of this variable or the scope of this thing will be within the class, right? So it is, since within the class, I will be able to only access this name. But what if I want to access the name variable of this parent class? Right? This is going to print Yanji, but I want to print Nikhil. Okay. So when I want to print Nikhil, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the keyword called super dot. Okay. Cannot use super in static call. So this main method is a static method, right? So we cannot use that. Give me a second, I'll take some other example. All right. I'll create a separate file. Let's just give me a second. It's better to have a separate file. Because C3 this and so forth. So the main method. I can also have this class like a parent which is having some methods. Let me copy these methods. I don't want to write all those things, so I'm just copying. See, there is nothing inside this. Just a parent and a variable called a and a variable called name, where we have this. Okay. And then we have some. This is constructor related. See, if you are having a method name same as the constructor, sorry, method name same as the class, then that is called as a constructor, right? So these are constructors. And then I have some methods dummy, and I have a method called method one inside this parent, which is doing this SISO statements. Okay. Now, in this class, this super class, I'll be having again, yeah, name and integer. Okay, so let's go one by one. I'm using these variables, same variables which I have in my parent class. You see, same string name is equals to Nikhil, but Nikhil Gunda, whereas here string name is equals to, I can use Yan or Sherab. Okay, integer variable A, same integer variable A, and the value is 20, but here the value is, so I have two same variables, A and name. Okay, now here for now I'm just going to comment this. Okay, public void get name. Okay, so this, when I say get name, it has to print the variable called name, right? See, so of name, since this name variable is within this class, so I'm able to access direct. Okay, and I'll also use extends ts parent, right? That means now I should be able to access the variables and methods inside this parent class also directly, right? When I'm extending, I should be able to access both the properties from this class as well as from this class. Agree? Right, Yanji and Sharaf. Agree, right?
Can you repeat again?
So when I'm saying, when I'm using inheritance concept, that is, this is becoming, the C3, this super is becoming the child of TS parent. Okay. So when this is becoming the child of TS parent, I should be able to access the members of this TS parent directly, right? We have seen that. We have seen it. We have seen, where is that? In C1 child. We were able to access all the 4 values directly, right? From this, from C1 child also we are able to get, and we are also able to get methods from the superior without any object. From superior we are able to get property list directly here. And from superior we are able to get business variable, right? Now, so in this case also, in this, sorry, not this, where is ours? Yeah, this one. So in this case also, when I'm extending TS parent, so this class should be able to access all the members of this TS parent.
Yes.
Okay. But what is the problem here is, you see, there is a same variable name. By default, if I use name, it will be accessing this local class variable. You see, C3 this super dot name. So that means it is accessing the name value from this class. Okay. Let's run this and see. Okay, I did not really want it. To run this, we need to have something in main method, right? So C3 this super is equals to new. Okay. And then obj dot get name. I have the method called get name, so I'm calling it. Now let's see if I run it, what happens. See what name is it giving? Yanji. But now I want the name Nikhil Gunda to be printed from the parent class. So when you have the same variable name in both the classes, parent and child, and you want to access the parent variable, then we use super keyword. Super dot name. We use like this. See, so super dot name. Understood? Now, when I say super dot name, it is going to access its parent class variable called name. Let's run this. You'll see both the names will be printed. You see? Now, is it able to get Nikhil? Is that clear?
Yes, Nikhil.
Okay. Right. So, if you want to use, if both the parent class and child class has the same variable, and you want to access the parent class variable, then you have to use the keyword called super. Understood? And or if you, by default it is going to use the local class, but if you want to specifically mention that this class, then you can use this key particular class variable name, then you can use this dot name. This will get the property of current class, and super will get the property or value of the parent class. Understood?
So Nikhil, what if like let's say I don't want to print out NJ, I want to print out only Nikhil, then it's like just delete that one.
That's
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, got it.
just to show example, I'm having both in this, but if you want to this, use this. If you want parent class variable, you can use this. Okay. Yeah. And then next, now this is a variable, right? This is a variable. So if you want to change the value also, you can do that using this. Now you see super dot name is equals to, it was Nikhil Gunda, now I'm going to change it to Gunda. This can also be done. Understand? This can also be done. You will be able to change the value of the name variable in the super class. Now let me print that again after changing. See it? You see, Nikhil Gunda got changed to Gunda Nikhil. So you will be able to do anything. You'll be able to modify, you'll be able to access, or you'll be able to run it. Okay. So this is super keyword. Now we might also have the same method names, dummy, same method name one. Okay. So for example, I'm creating the same method here. Now, if I want to call this method called dummy, I will be able to call this method directly, but this method is going to be from this class. But what if I want the method to be from super class or parent class? Then you see this super dot dummy. You can also call like this. Understood? You can also access the methods. You can also access the variables using the super keyword. Now you see it will print both. This is dummy from child class and this is dummy. Understood? Using the super keyword, you can access the variables, or also you can access the methods of the parent class when you have both same name. Okay. Now here I have method one which is in the parent class, but I do not have any method one in this child class. So here I don't have to mention the super keyword. When I say method one, it will be able to access directly from the parent class. I don't have to specifically mention from where to take, right? When I mention super, it is taking from parent class. When I don't mention anything, it is taking from current class. When should we mention? When you have same names in both the parent class and child class. But the method one, I have a method one only in the parent class. Do I have it in the child class? In this class? No. So that is why I don't have to mention the keyword called super. By default, it will be calling from parent class. Understood? Is that clear? All right. Now let's go to the constructors concept. Okay. Now, I do not have any constructor for this class. Right? Okay. Now I'm going to create an object for this parent class. TS parent obj is obj2 or obj2 is equals to new of TS parent. Okay. So when I create an object like this, what is being executed? This parent class. See, this is the constructor of TS parent that will be executed. You see, just for the creation of object. You see, this is the constructor of TS parent that is being executed when I create an object for the parent class. Right? Okay. Now I'll remove this. Now we have created object for the C3 child, and then let me run this. You will also see that. This is the constructor of TS parent. But did I create an object for the parent class? Hello? Did I call it? Did I create an object for the parent class? No, right?
No.
But how is it coming? This is the constructor of TS parent. That is from this class. This is the constructor of TS parent. Did I call this TS parent method or did I create an object here? Nothing is there, right? I did not create any object here. But still, we are able to access this TS parent. How? How? Because by default, whenever you are using extends keyword in Java, that means whenever you are extending a parent class, okay, though we do not have any constructor here, by default, Java assumes there is an empty constructor. That means we have this constructor C3 underscore this super, right? By default, it will be there, right? By default, this is the constructor. Write some statements. Constructor of this underscore C3 underscore this underscore super. Okay, now I have the constructor. Now I'm creating this object. Now let us run this. Again, it will also have the parent class. This is the constructor of parent and constructor of C3 this super. So when are we getting this super object? After printing this. That means what is happening? Before creating an object, this is also creating an object of the parent. How is it doing? By default, even if you don't create an object for the parent, since you are using this extends keyword, right? When you are using this extends keyword, by default, you'll have like this. By default, whether you mention or you don't mention this keyword, okay, when you call like this is going to call the constructor of the parent class. Okay, so whenever you create an object for this child class, since it is extending TS parent, by default, even if you mention or don't mention, Java will assume that this super constructor should be called by default. Then only we will be able to access the members of the parent, right? Otherwise, we won't be able to access. Whenever there is an object, then only we'll be able to do it. But how is this happening? When you use extends, how the parent methods are directly coming to child? Because by default, even if you mention or even if you don't mention, the super keyword is already present inside the constructor of the child class. Okay, so even if you don't write or even if you write, by default, Java will assume that it has to call the constructor of the parent class. Understood? Now see this. Same. Even when I add the super keyword, it is having the same. Because whether you have this line or whether you don't have this line, by default, Java will assume that, okay, I should call, since this person is using extends keyword and creating a child class of this parent, so I should create an object for this parent. So how is it doing? With the help of this line. But even if you don't mention, Java will assume that that is there and then it is using it. How? Based on this. Understood? Is that clear? Okay. Now let us see. We have a constructor with a parameter, right? So now if I want to call the parameterized constructor, then I'll use this super with this parameter. Okay. Yes. Okay. When I pass some parameters, this is going to call. See now, till now, when I called, when I created an object or when I run this program, it is printing this is a constructor of TS parent. Okay. But now it is going to print this one. This is a constructor TS parent having name because I'm passing a parameter. Okay. Let us run this and see. You see which constructor is being called now? Right? Because I'm passing this parameter by default. If you don't pass or if you don't mention anything, since this is non-parameterized constructor, this is going to call this statement inside this by default. Even if you don't mention by default, it is going to call this super keyword. So it is going to execute the parent class constructor. But if you want to pass parameters and you want to execute a parameterized constructor of the parent class, then when you pass parameters, then it is going to call this one. Understood? Is that clear? So with the help of super keyword, you will be able to access the parent variables, parent methods, and also parent constructors. Parent variables and parent methods, you can directly use this super keyword. But when you are using constructors, you have to use these braces for constructor. If you want to call a constructor, then you have to use the braces. And one more point that we should remember is, I'll comment this. Now I have this super keyword in the first line. Okay. This cannot be this super keyword cannot be written anywhere else. This should be the first statement in the child constructor. Understood? Whatever you write, whatever you want to write, you should write from second line on. Super constructor or calling of parent class constructor should be always the first line. If you write in some other place, it won't call. You see, what is it saying? Constructor call must be the first statement in the constructor. Understood? It should be the first statement of the constructor. Is that clear? Hello.
Yeah, Nikhil.
So this is all about inheritance and this and super. Let me see if example. Okay, if I want to get the current class variable, then I use this, and if I want to get the parent class, then I use super. That we have seen it. All right, constructors also we have seen. So this is all about this and super keyword. Understood? All right. Now let us go to the next topic, which is polymorphism. So today let us complete the theoretical part of polymorphism, and then tomorrow let us see the grammatical part of polymorphism. Okay. So polymorphism, like I said, okay. Before going to polymorphism, let me show you some other things or some other concepts of inheritance or real-time examples of inheritance. Okay. I'll just show you some code. So these are all the sample images. Okay, this is what we learned: single inheritance, hierarchical, multi-level, and hierarchical. This is what we learned. And then why do we need this inheritance? Or okay, this is with hybrid and multiple. Okay, we cannot have this multiple and we cannot have this hybrid inheritance. So these are not possible in Java. We cannot only possible. We are having only these three possible ways. Okay. All right. This is also some other sample. Java does not support multiple inheritance. Okay. So these are all the things. Okay. Let us go back and then see some sample code from this Java T point or W3 schools from anywhere. Okay. And hybrid, these are all not supportable. So you see here this person. So why do we create objects to get real-time values? See, in Java by default we have integer, boolean, data, these data types. So if you have a specific data that you want to store, then you will use those data types. But when you want to store real-time entities into Java, when you want to store real-time objects in Java, like a person, like a car, or like a vehicle, like an aeroplane, if you want to create a behavior for those things in Java, then we need to create objects, right? Now, similarly, you see here, animal is a class. All the animals eat, right? This is a default behavior of animal. All the animals eat, right? Now, dog is extending animal. That means this dog will also have the behavior of eating. But what does dog do extra? It does bark at us, or it does bark when new persons are there, right? So we are extending, or in the dog specific class, we are using bark method. Okay, this is bark. Now when I create an object for this dog, this barks, as well as because this is extended by animal, this dog also eats. Understood? So that is why he is able to call both bark and eat. That is single inheritance example. That's all. I used some normal classes or normal variables, but here some real-time objects or real-time kind of class names. Okay, and then multi-level inheritance. You see, animals, all the animals eat, and the dog barks. But when a baby dog, there is a baby dog that also eats, that also barks, and that also weeps. Baby dogs weep. So that is why you see when I create an object for baby dog and this is being extended by dog. So this has the behavior of the dog and it also has the behavior of an animal. That's all. Then hierarchical, you see, we have animal, not only dog. In the animal kingdom, we have different animals like dog, cat, rat, or all the other things. A lion, a tiger, right? So like that. So this animal is being extended by a dog, and also this animal will be extended by a cat because both the dog and cat both eat, right? All the animals eat. Okay. And dog barks, cat meows. Right? When I create an object for cat, I will be able to access eat and meow. When I create an object for dog, I'll be able to access bark and eat. Understood? Is that clear?
Yes, this example is much easier to understand.
Yeah. Is that clear? Now I think you will be able to understand inheritance easily.
Yeah.
Right? But okay, but in real time we don't use these kind of objects. So I created normal class objects. For understanding this will be. Now, multiple inheritance is not supported by Java because you see this one, the same class C extends A and B. When I called a method or when I create a constructor for C and I'm calling the object message, but the same message method is present in class A and class B. Now, when I created an object and this class is extending both B and A and both the class has the same method name. Now, this will get confused, right? Which message method should I call? Whether message from A or message from B. It won't understand, won't be able to understand. So that is why Java doesn't support this multiple inheritance. Okay, is that clear now? Is this clear about inheritance now? All the levels of all the different types of inheritance. Or do you
Yeah.
want me to show another example of inheritance? Now we have seen Java T1. Let us see what we have in this. Just to have a more understanding. Okay. Is using normal example soup and subclass sub is extending super. This is a sample code. Okay. See, this is a calculation class, and then it has addition and subtraction, and then we have another calculation which is a multiplication, which is extending this calculation. So this has both addition, subtraction, and multiplication. When you create an object for this, we'll be able to solve. So this is kind of general example that what we have. Okay. And then we also saw the super keyword. That's not a problem. Okay, there is nothing interesting in this. Okay, we have the same what we have discussed. See, animal, a mammal is extended by animal, and also reptiles are extending animal, and dog is extending a mammal. So we have multiple classes. This is like hierarchical inheritance. Animal is being extended by mammal and reptile, and dog is being extended by mammal. So this is having both hierarchical and multi-level inheritance. Okay. So, okay, nothing interesting in this. or nothing is there. Okay, so since you understood the concept of this inheritance, let's skip it, or let's stop that inheritance now, and let's move into the new concept called polymorphism. Oh, okay. So polymorphism. So what is this polymorphism? This is a Greek word which means many forms. Poly means many and morphism means forms. So polymorphism means many forms. A single person having different forms is called as many forms. Like we have some movies, right? Personality disorder, split personality disorders. Like a single person will behave uh, differently at different situations. Whenever something triggers, then he behaves as some different person. Uh, have you ever seen such kind of things? Or have you ever?
I've seen movie.
Yeah, in movies, not in real life,
Yeah.
right? So a single person, we know that he is a single person, but according to the situation, based on the situation, he behaves completely different. That is called as split personality disorder. The same way, this is not a disorder, but this is a behavior of Java, where you have polymorphism. That means one method or a single method behaves differently. That means where did we see? Yeah, in if you let us go back to these collections. In the collections, when I go to array list, now you see here add. Add is a method name, right? Which is taking a value and adding this value to this array list. And now if I scroll a little down, and then you see we are again having the same add method. Okay, this is also adding this variable value. This value to this array list. But what is happening? This is adding at a particular position, but this add method is adding them serially. It is not mentioning the specific position, but here it is taking the specific position. So when you call the same add method, this is also add method and this is also add method. When you give an extra parameter, it is behaving differently, and when you don't give it, it is behaving differently, right? We are having the same method add, but based on the situation, when you don't give integer parameter, it is adding them at the end. When you give an integer parameter, it is adding at that particular position. That means the same add method is behaving differently when you change the parameters, right? Understand? The same add method is same. We are calling the same add method, but it is behaving differently based on the type and value of parameter that we pass. Correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that is nothing but polymorphism. Okay. Now, I mean, we are going to write some more program, but just for you to make understand, I'm showing this example. Okay. A single method, add method, is behaving differently at different situations. Adding at the end, adding at a particular position. Similarly, we have many methods like this, which are behaving differently in different situations. Those things let us see. So polymorphism is a Greek word where poly is many, morphism means forms. Or single person or single activity or the ability to appear in different forms is called as polymorphism. Okay. So there are two types of polymorphism in Java. Okay. Two types of polymorphism. One is compile time and the other one is runtime. So if you see the difference in the behavior during during compilation only, then that is called as compile time polymorphism. If you see the behavior only during the runtime, you don't see the difference as like, okay, this is behaving differently while you write the code, but you will see it only when you run the code. Then that is called as runtime polymorphism. Okay. So compile time polymorphism is also called as static binding, and runtime polymorphism is also called as dynamic binding, or compile time is also called as early binding, and runtime polymorphism is also called as late binding, because okay, you will understand this, what is dynamic and what is late binding, how come these names are attached to this runtime when we write some example. Okay, so compile time, that means before running itself we will be able to know that this is going to behave differently in different situations. So that is, it is fixed. We know that already that it is going to behave differently. So that is why we are calling it as static binding and early binding. Before running itself, we are binding the different behavior to the same property or same method. So that is why we call it as early binding. But here, when we go to runtime polymorphism, this will be happening only at the runtime. We will never know at the compile time. So that is why this is called as late binding or dynamic binding. Understood? So we have polymorphism means it behaves in different ways at different situations. And then there are two types of polymorphism. One is compile time and the other one is runtime. Compile time is also called as static binding or early binding, and runtime is also called as dynamic binding and late binding. This compile time polymorphism can be achieved with the help of method overloading concept. Method overloading. And then runtime polymorphism can be achieved using method overriding. One is overloading and the other one is overriding. Understood? So compile time polymorphism can be achieved with the help of method overloading concept, whereas runtime polymorphism can be achieved with the help of method overriding concept. Is that clear?
Yes.
Since it's 8:15, let us stop for the theory and let us see the practical of compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism tomorrow. Okay. Any questions in today's session? Or any questions in previous sessions? Are you doing, are you practicing the tasks, or are you doing the tasks which I gave to you?
No.
You have to, because whenever, see, these classes will go on. If not today, then by next week we will be able to come, or after that, after a month, we will be closing these sessions. But if you don't practice, you will never learn anything. That's okay, but I know your time is a bit fully blocked, but please try to find some time to practice. Okay.
Okay.